Welcome to WriterSpark Academy's Craft Chat. I'm Melissa Bourbon, and today we are talking about creating systems for authors with the very prolific and frankly awesome Tonya Kappes. She has taken her love of writing and truly elevated it to a business under the umbrella of Tonya Kappes Books. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and learn about creating systems for authors. Hi everyone, I am Melissa Bourbon with WriterSpark, and I am here today chatting with my old good friend Tonya Kappes, superstar author Tonya Kappes. Welcome.
Hey, I think I'll have to bring that up. I'll have to bring it up. But I still have the paper where Jack made us sign when he was little that said two famous authors. Do you remember that? When you came to my house?
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
that. I still have that. It's in the basement. I don't have it up here. It's in my filing cabinet. I'll have to get that out and send you.
Yeah. So because we go way back to before my early days of
You published,
publishing,
and I was not.
and you were not published yet. Yeah.
No, like I always say that you gave me my start with marketing because I somehow found Chasing Heroes and started following it as a blog and just commenting. And then you said, hey, would you want to guest blog? I'm like, sure. I don't know what I'm going to guest blog about because I don't have a book published. And then, a few months later, you asked me to join the blog, and that's how I got started
The
with
rest is history.
and readers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a good friendship came out of it. So
yeah. Well, and an amazing career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys had a ton of followers, and they just trusted me and been with me since. It's been crazy.
Okay, so that leads me into today we're just going to chat about your processes and your system and how you turned, an interest in writing, kind of, just I would like to be a writer, into the amazing business that you have developed. Because, there are a lot of writers out there, myself included, who have a passion and we write books. But, I wouldn't say that I have turned my writing into a true business in the way that you have. And so I'm just curious, and I know that other people will be too, about, what does that look like? What is Tonya Kappes Books sort of all about, and how did that happen?
So I knew that I'm really good at, talking to readers, and I'm really good at communicating with readers and things like that. So
You're gifted at that.
I'm gifted at the gab of
You're
talking.
truly gifted, yes.
I mean, I got the superlative in high school years ago, most talkative and this, that, and the other. So, I always have been able to talk to somebody and just kind of be personable, and what you see is what you get. It's not any more than that. And so I knew that when social media came on the scene that I would be able to do something with that. So taking even like the blog post that we did together years ago, I would ask reader questions. Like at the end, I'd ask a question because we always wanted them to comment back. So I started taking those questions at the very beginning and just taping myself. I'm like, oh, a reader question was sent in by so-and-so. And I would always just leave like the last name off or whatever. And then I started putting those up on YouTube just as reader questions. So way back then, I think I have years of YouTube content back there.
So you were really an early adopter of all of that, authors on social media like that.
And then I started answering the reader question live on like Facebook, and people would pop in on the lives because at that time, Facebook was telling people somebody's live, or, and they might not have been following me. And so I really started connecting with them by doing live events and just kind of keeping that going. And then I noticed that more and more people were coming, and I would only do it once a week. So then I noticed more and more people were coming onto social media. So that's when I kind of came up with my social media system. I have various systems for each Tonya Kappes umbrella pillar. And so I have something for all my books that are coming out, like specific marketing strategies for those, specific marketing strategies for Facebook, specific marketing strategies for my newsletter, for Goodreads, for YouTube. Everything has a specific strategy, even my ARC team.
And
So
these are strategies that you learned from other people, developed, trial and error along the way, kind of a combination. I mean, how did you go about developing these strategies?
probably just like combination, but mainly just thinking to myself, oh, okay, well, kind of like my mystery train. Like I had an idea from an email when a reader said, hey, when you going to come visit me and my town? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then another one came and another one came and another email came. And that's when I thought, well, maybe I can just host one event somewhere differently each year. And whoever lives close to there can make it an event. And although events have been around forever and book signing events have been around forever for authors, I'm like, and I could, do a book signing, but, since I'm not traditional, then I would have to host a book signing off site. And while we're in that town, they have a ghost walk. Maybe we can do a ghost walk. And so it just kind of snowballed right from there. And so it was a combination of everything that has kind of happened. So with social media, I always have on my desktop, I keep a folder for every month. And so today, if you were to get on my Facebook page, every morning I put a coffee post up. Mm-hmm. And if you were to get on there today, this time last year, the same date the year before last, the same date the year before that, it has, July 28th, and you would see it's the exact same coffee post from the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But when you open up my folder, you'll see 31 coffee posts labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the 10th is the 10th day. So also I put books on sale every week. So I have those books. The same books are on sale this week that were on sale last year at this time. So it's labeled week 4, July, and books on sale.
So you already have your graphics, everything that's in there.
Everything. I have a running not even a Google document, but just like a running July document with those links in it. So it's just a copy and paste. Now I have an assistant. I've had an assistant I have 3 assistants besides Eddie. And so one of them always funnels out my book links and sales graphic to other cozy groups, owners of various cozy marketing groups and things like that. And she also runs my private Facebook page. So she's in there with those. But we'll get to that, later. But the same content that I did for Facebook back in the time is now repurposed for Instagram or anything, you can think of that you would want to put at Twitter or whatever you're using. So it's not like I am redoing content. It's content that I already had that a lot of writers don't realize that they have. So, they get on social media, even if they don't have a million books out or even one book out, they get on social media, they've got posts on there somewhere. And so those posts can be redone. Like if they're like, oh, I asked in my group, a question, they can, turn that question to a million different pieces of content. So for instance, during the pandemic, I started reading what I called bedtime stories. And so we were just trying to be a community, right? And so I started reading a chapter a night of my books, and those were going up on YouTube as well. So my YouTube content just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then what happens is we read Beaches, Bungalows, and Burglaries, and I love to hike and camp and things like that. So we will go to a nature center around here, and I'll just sit there and film, 10 minutes of me hiking. And so a very popular thing is video right now. So what I do with those old videos of me talking, I just take the voice out and put it to maybe a 60-second clip, like just a clip of the audio, and put it on a 60-second or a minute, 30-second, whatever clip of me walking through the woods. and it's a snippet of my book, and then it's a video that people have connected with, on, the walking through the woods or something like that. But all those things are put in. So like if I do something new like that, it's put into that July file.
So I know that you were a teacher
Mhm.
before writing BW Tonya. Did you have that type? Is that how your brain works? Like, did you have that type of system, development in place as a teacher? Because I don't think that the average person, and especially writers who are creatives, right, don't necessarily think in those sort of logical, systemic ways.
Right. And so that is what has served me best, is that I do believe that, so when I was teaching, I always knew that each child learned differently, and you get this. I was a public school, so you get this curriculum that, oh, just teach the curriculum, but you really can't just, if you're a good teacher, you just can't teach the curriculum.
Right.
Our kids learn separately. So I would keep a file of each kid and each child, not kid, I guess, but each child, and I knew that they would learn differently. So I always kept those notes in their file. So I could, if anybody came in that day to substitute, they would be able to pull out the file if they really wanted to dig down deep or whatever. And they would be able to help that child. If that child had a problem with something, they could be like, oh, okay, I see here, And so in my brain, that's the way I treat each social media, or each part of my business is like its own child, and what works well and what resonates well, and what gets me the most mileage. And so I'm all about the repurpose of the content, right? So I know if one child, generally a couple children learn the same in your classroom. So what you learn or how you teach one child that is kind of on that same way. You can hear my cuckoo clock. Sorry.
That's okay.
Is that so I knew that I could kind of put those two kids together, and it's just kind of like being smart about the stuff, not working harder and saying, oh, I've got to work with this child and I got to work with this child. Oh, well, these kind of can be paired up because I know that they kind of work the same. So
do you schedule all your social media?
I do. So back to the social media part, we'll just talk social media. So then I know that every day is like a theme day. So every day is, every Monday I'll do something with my newsletter. Every Tuesday is Tail Wagging Tuesday. I get a lot of photos of my readers. But I get a lot of photos of my readers because my assistant knows that I do Tail Wagging Tuesday. So she is in the reader group posting, show me a picture of your fur baby today or something like that. So we're looking for, them. And then Wednesday is sometimes Wednesdays vary. It's like follow me or this, that, and the other. And then Thursday is always a grateful, thankful post because I think that that's so important to have out there. And then Friday is what are you reading Friday? What are you reading for the weekend? Something like that. So I keep all of those posts in that July file or that monthly file. Also, I did something that's so much easier for me and my assistant is I made an employee Facebook page just for my private employees. So any kind of link that they need, any kind of graphic that I've done, anything that they need on Facebook, they can just go over there and get it, pop it, and forget about it. So we don't have to worry about it. So then also I keep, for instance, if you'll see on my Facebook, Instagram, whatever, Twitter, it'll say add to your Amazon wish list and add to your Goodreads mystery shelf. Add to binge books, add to BookBub. So those are the same graphics for every book, except I just switch out the book cover, right? Using BookBrush. And so it doesn't matter so in order to make, it's a system. So it's for like releases, but it also goes up. It's not only for releases, but on social media. So you're going to see that no matter what the first of the month is or the second of the month, whether it falls on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you're going to see on the first of the month the banner for the new book release. The second, you're going to get a pre-order on Facebook along with the theme that day. So say that the second was a Monday. So you're still going to get subscribe to my newsletter. I put this out, whatever. Then you're going to get that pre-order for every single book every second of the month or the second that it comes out. You're going to get an old interview on the 17th. You're going to get a catch up on the series on the 16th. You're going to get on the 8th, you're going to get the put it on your Amazon wish list. And it's all really the same verbiage. It's just the different picture of the book and the different link. And so all of that I also keep in the file because every month is the same thing. So everybody's like, oh, I got to put something out for, the release. What am I going to write out? That's a lot of brain work when I'd rather be spending that energy writing. So,
and not only that, it's a lot of time. It's a huge time.
It is a huge set of time. And so I had a business coach that's not even in the writing industry. And so I'm like, I'm kind of bored, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, but your income is still going up and, your systems are working. And she said, that's what happens when systems work. We kind of get bored. She goes, don't burn down the house. So she's telling me, do not burn down the house. Because also, this also just isn't for Facebook. So everything that's on Facebook is for the pre-order. And then it just goes into the next pre-order. Like it rarely says, hey, this book has been out. Look at this great review. Like people do like 2 or 3 weeks after the book. I don't do that on Facebook. I do that on my blog. So everything that happened on Facebook for the pre-order goes up on my blog because I still have a lot of people that belong to my blog. So it funnels to my blog. So, and then I have Patreon. And so they get every single book, they get a knitting, the knitting pattern for the cover. They get a bead pattern because that beading is so popular right now. The bead pattern for the cover. They get a color sheet. They all get the book in ARC and print. We do one live a month. It's either a, Zoom, but it's on the 19th of each month. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that I know that on the 1st, they're going to get an audio of me saying, hey, happy, August, this is what's going on. And it's really just an audio memo of me talking to them about what's going on with the books, this, that, and the other, and that they're going to know what charity we gave to on the 2nd. So, and we all vote on the charity, but then I always usually get something from the charity that I like to share. But so that is also scheduled. So they know that on the 1st of each month, they're going to get the audio thing. They know, and it seems like it might be repetitive, but it's not, because I also jump in there with like you do on social media. Like I go live all the time just when I get bored. And so I'll go live in there, or I will pop up a picture of something Rowena did. So it's personal too. But those things are like, they're like things in there, like, they love to see like stuff I've cut, scenes I've cut, things like that. And so Patreon's a whole nother beast. But the point I'm making is that it's a system that I know the main content that needs to be in there. I know the main content that needs to be on Facebook and the main content that needs to be on Instagram. We won't even talk about
TikTok.
But anyways, so every month I have all of those are the same each month. So it's easy for me at the 15th of the month, I have what I call CEO Day. So I literally will sit down on CEO Day and I schedule everything. But I don't hop and pop and go. I schedule everything for that day, all the way up to my newsletters. Not what I've done, because my newsletters are always personal about what I've done, something has happened that week. But the rest of it, I know what books are going on sale. I know that every year. I know like who's going to have Tail Wagging Tuesday and who's going to be Reader of the Week. People are like, well, how do you get this Reader of the Week? It's because I went into my group, and I did this just kind of stupidly. And I asked, so what is it about a Tonya Kappes book that you like? Really, what I was doing was searching for keywords to put in my advertising, like Southern,
Yeah, yeah.
charm, blah, blah, blah. And then people were like, oh my God, like, I escape when I read your books, or I love your characters. I feel like I'm at home, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, oh, well, these people need to be showcased. And so not only that, but it gives, some authority to my books, right? And so that is how that came up. So I always will pick 4, because there's 4 weeks, sometimes 5. And so I know, what's going on, and who's going to have that. So I always do my, schedule my newsletters, or I can work on my newsletters also that day. Another thing that I do that I started years ago, which I don't have in front of me, and I can grab it if you really want me to. But I send out postcards every month to readers that are having birthday postcards. And so, I might send out anywhere from 500 to 3,000 a month. It just depends on, a lot of people are born in August.
Let's count back.
Winter
nights.
So I just did. Actually took me 2 days to do those. But I also do that on CEO Day. Is I start right now my postcards for the following month, so they're ready to go out. And so that is something that has really worked, is making those folders. So everything is there. I don't have to do the work anymore. It's there. I pull it up. And they are precious to me. I mean, they are like, gold for me. Folder.
Thanks again for tuning into this Writer Spark Craft Chat. We will be back with more about the business side of writing. Tonya Kappes has so much great information for us, so stay tuned and we'll see you at part 2. Until then, happy writing.